All right, welcome, welcome. I'm Coach Heidi with Growth and Gains, and I have our client Chris here with us. And he trained with us in our level 2 program, which, he'd already had pretty solid routine of health and fitness. He built a lot of good habits and a good mindset around a lot of areas of his health already, but he really wanted to take it to the next level. So Chris, tell us a little bit about kind of what your life was like, what your struggles were like before you joined our program.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and happy to be here. Thanks for having me, Heidi. But yeah, my life is pretty. I've always felt like I'm a fairly healthy person. I played sports in high school and was always active through college, and I've always done something to a degree. But now I'm a full working professional. I'm a working professional, and I know those things are important in my life, and I want them. But it was getting harder to find the time, and then so I would find the time, but then I didn't realize I needed to add extra time to like plan out my workouts and like plan out my meals and like my diets and stuff. And I wasn't doing those extra things. So I'd kind of show up to the gym and, okay, what am I going to do today? And just kind of like making stuff up from one workout to the next. Um, and so, I knew that wasn't a great way to approach it. And I knew if I had more time and more discipline, I could get there. Like I had the tools to do it on my own, but I just wasn't doing it, because I've kind of been in that mindset for the last probably couple of years, as work's been really busy. I've said, oh, I can do this, but I wasn't doing it. And so by signing up with Growth and Gains, it forced me to do it. It put me into the place where I'm like, okay, I've got somebody holding me accountable. And then the things that were so impactful for me was, I told them, hey, these are the body parts that I want to work on. These are kind of my goals. And they just tailored it straight to me of like, cool, great. And then I would just show up to the gym. I didn't have to make any decisions. That was like my favorite part. I didn't have to make any decisions. I just look at the app, do this. And I was like, perfect. So I just did that. And the app was super easy to use. It would track my week over week progress. And so it just took away all of the mental part of working out, of like the planning, and that was huge for me. So yeah, that was great.
Cool. Yeah, I think a lot of people kind of experience that same, like we have this barrier from starting because it takes strategy, right? And it takes planning. And when you are a busy professional, you're probably not obsessed with learning about the right strategy of exercising, right? Unless it's like your hobby that you just love, but most people, they don't fall under that category. Luckily, there are people out there that are obsessed with learning about the best strategy, and learning, everything behind, what is the right strategy to get Chris from point A to point B in the best time possible, so that you're not wasting your time or energy or effort. You can spend it on what is most valuable to you and what serves you the most in your life, and then leave all the
Hmm.
strategy and planning to us, and then brings in that accountability aspect too, right? So we lay out this awesome strategy that's customized to you, fits your lifestyle, fits where you're at currently, where you want to go, what muscle groups you want to develop, and we lay all of that out clearly for our clients. And we did that for Chris, and really helped him overcome his barriers as well. I love that. And then we have daily accountability. So me and my coaches, we have, two-way access to the app that we program in there for Chris. And it allows us to go and program everything for him, specific to him and his schedule, his lifestyle, what his goals are. And then we can see if he's checking in every day. If he's not showing up, we can reach out, give him that extra support, help him overcome his barriers, as to, why, because no one's perfect, right? So tell us a little bit about your journey. A lot of people think that, okay, I'm going to sign up for this coach, I'm going to pay for this program, and I'm just going to get the results I want. But
Yep.
tell us a little bit it obviously doesn't happen like that, right? So tell us a little bit about like the process of getting you from your point A to your point B.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and for me, like I enjoy lifting weights. I always have. So that part, the mental part of just showing up and being told what to do, that was awesome. I mean, just showing up. But like actually working out and lifting the weights and kind of doing the treadmill stuff, that wasn't really a huge challenge for me because I already enjoy that stuff. What was really a challenge for me in my life was my diet. And not that my diet's ever been terrible, but I just knew that I needed to tune into my diet. And I'm I because I'm a working professional, I eat out a lot, and I try and eat out healthy things. Like I'll eat like Chick-fil-A or I'll get like the salad and this stuff, but sometimes I'll go grab a burger. And that was like my biggest challenge. But when I hooked up with Heidi and her coaches, that helped me the most. Like on the workout side, I would work out on my own before coaching. I'd do like 2 to 3 days a week. I was pretty good at that. But then because I knew there was going to be this daily accountability, I would think like, oh crap, like they're going to follow up with me. So it actually got me kind of over that hump and got me into the gym 4, 5, 6 days a week, instead of the 2 to 3. And then on my diet, that was really what I signed up for, was just, hey, I want somebody to push me here. Cause I hate cooking. I don't enjoy it. And I didn't really know what to cook. I was just like, well, do I just eat chicken and broccoli every day? Like, I don't know. And it actually kind of came down to, and Heidi, you and I were talking about this before, is, I was trying to get growth and Gainz to totally adapt to my life without me being willing to change, essentially. Like I was willing to change a little bit, but there kind of came to a point where, Heidi, you did your job, where you kind of pushed a little bit. It was very professional and pushed a little bit. And it was just like, well, hey, at the end of the day, do you want to hit your goals? And I was just like, well, fine. Yeah, I do. And so it kind of pushed me to do like, you know what? You're right. Like I paid this money, I signed up, like I need to be willing to change more if I want to hit my goals. And it wasn't anything like massively drastic or, it wasn't like, I wasn't eating chicken and broccoli for breakfast. It wasn't like these crazy, like terrible meals. It was just spending the time doing it. And Heidi and her team, you guys pushed me to do it, and it actually worked. It worked. So that was kind of my journey. So yeah, that was it.
Yeah, I love that. I think that having that person in your corner to consult with and figure out, a lot of times we don't know what our barriers are until we actually go through the process and have someone to kind of be a soundboard for us, right? And figure out what those are. Because I think a lot of people think they know what their barriers are, but it's actually far from the reality. Or we tell ourselves it's this thing because this thing is out of our control, but really our barrier is this, and it is in our control. And if we focus on what the real issue is, we have the power. We realize we have the power to change it. We have the power to reach the goal that we want to obtain.
Yep. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your diet. You said you weren't eating broccoli and chicken every day. Because that's a lot of people's fear too, is like, oh my gosh, like Heidi's gonna have me eat this like bodybuilder diet. Tell us some of the foods that you eat every day.
Yeah.
Goals and create a sustainable lifestyle.
Yeah. And that really was my piece, is like, I just wanted something that was sustainable, because like anyone can do, and I've done it before, where you just do these diets for a couple of months and you look great and hit these things, but then it's like, okay, well, I'm not doing this for the rest of my life. Like, and so that's why, the app that we used, Eat This Much, I actually really liked that app a lot, because you could set your ranges, you got your fats, carbs, and proteins, but there was these ranges. It wasn't like I had to hit 212 grams of protein every day, no matter what. It was like, yeah, like get somewhere between 200 and like 280, or like my fats, it was like, all right, get like 63 grams of fats up to like 100 grams of fats. And there was so much leeway of like, okay, cool. I don't have to like sit there and count every grain of rice. It was just like, hey, just roughly kind of hit this stuff. And in the settings on that, I loved, because again, I hate cooking. I hate cooking. I just don't enjoy it. I'm enjoying it a little more now, but you know, you could set meals and cook in bulk, and you could even set on the settings like, I want easy cooking. Like, I don't want these complex recipes. I just want easy cooking. And it was great. It's like, here's this crock pot recipe. Just dump it all in and turn it on for 4 hours. I was like, cool, I can do that. You know, I can definitely do that. And then there were some recipes that popped up that I tried. Like, there was the shrimp one that popped up, and there was all these spices and stuff. And I did it, and I was like, I'm not doing that one. Like, I'm not going to do that one again, because I didn't like it. It was too complicated for me. I didn't like it. So I just took that one out, and then I just added one back in, you know, a different one that was easier. So yeah, my diets are pretty good. You know, I make a smoothie in the mornings, you know, with some protein shake, and I roughly know how many calories that is. And I've got my lunches kind of planned out. And then, yeah, my dinners, I do chicken and broccoli for dinners and stuff. But I learned, because I used to think you have to do like plain chicken, broccoli with nothing on it, you know, but I learned, oh no, I can put hot sauce on it, because there's like 0 calories in hot sauce. And I can do a little bit of like, you know, maybe like a little bit of like a guacamole sauce, and then I just dip it in there, because it's not really going to add a lot. And I was like, oh, this is actually pretty good. Like, and I can make it pretty tasty. So that was, that was kind of my favorite part, was I just, once I got into it and committed, I was like, you know what, this actually is significantly easier and sustainable, you know, So yeah, that's what I enjoyed.
Cool. Yeah, I love that. You know, a goal that I have with my clients is to help them get to know themselves, right? So until we like know what we like and what we dislike, it's like we won't know what plan actually works for us. And that's why I don't do cookie cutter plans, and why I work so hands-on with my clients is because, you know, you're so different than any other client that I'm working with. You know, everyone kind of has their things that they don't like or they do like. And when we try to fit into these like molds of a plan created by one person and what they like, it's like we often run into these obstacles because it doesn't work. It doesn't always work for us. And then we give up, or we think like, oh my gosh, I can't stick to this. I'm not going to be healthy. I'm not going to reach my goals because I don't want to stick to this one meal plan that was made by one person. So I think that you hit on a couple really awesome points, that like everyone's different, that you got to learn what works for you as an individual. And then understanding that there is like a lot of leeway within that structure that will get us to our goals. It's not like one set direct path. And so again, having that
Yep.
professional in your corner who helps you know, okay, where is my leeway, right? Sometimes we justify too much leeway, but knowing when
Mm-hmm.
to kind of reel it in, like, hey, this is like your buffer zone of what you're working in that will still help you reach your goals. I think that's super important. So cool. I'm glad you touched on those. Um, so I'm curious, like, why did you want to change? Like when you're a busy working professional, you wanted to like get healthy and have a good lifestyle, transform your physique. What was your why? Like what motivated you?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I touched on it super briefly kind of at the beginning, where, you know, again, I've enjoyed working out. I've been working out since I was like 15, playing sports and doing that. And I, you know, consider myself, and I know the benefits of being healthy, as I'm sure everyone does. But as I look back on my life for the last, you know, couple of years, 2, 3 years, as I've kind of made these efforts and signed up for the gym, and I like kind of go and, you know, and I sort of eat healthy. But as I kind of was being very honest with myself, and I look back and I'm like, I didn't really do a great job. I didn't. Like, I was making these efforts and it was okay, I guess. But really at the end of the day, I wasn't producing in my own life what I wanted to produce. And so I was just being honest with myself. I was like, you know what? Yeah, I can cut out a ton of stuff in my life and just hyper focus and get it done if I really, really need to. But do I want to cut all these things out? And I had to be honest with myself. And I was like, I, I don't. Like, I don't want to cut all these things out and cut my lifestyle out to have to adapt. I'd rather just have a professional at this point. You know, I'd rather just have somebody, you know what? I need to be honest with myself. I want these goals. I'm not getting them done on my own. And sure, I probably could, but I'm not. at the end of the day, I'm not doing it. And so I was just like, nope, I want somebody to just have me do it. And it's like, I can change my oil on my car. I know how to do it. I can do it. I don't want to do it. So that's why you just go get it changed. And so then, obviously I found you and I was just like, you know what? Nope, I'm just going to have somebody do this. I'm going to have the accountability. Somebody's going to set it up for me. I can ask questions and it's just easier. It was just so much easier doing it that way.
I love that.
And
So your big why was like your lifestyle. Like you had this picture and this vision of the lifestyle that you wanted to live, and you knew that you know the actions and the things that you were doing on your own at that time weren't quite, you weren't on that trajectory of getting where you wanted. I love that like
correct.
self-evaluation process that you had, and like weighing what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do. I think that's so awesome and so important for us to realize, like, what is our genius zone, right? Like, what do we love doing and what can we outsource? Like, what do we not love doing? What can we outsource to maximize our time in our genius creative zone, right?
That's exactly what it was. Yep.
Yeah. And I love that too, because to me, it's not just about like looking good or being a certain weight or having certain muscle definition. It's about the life that you're creating and the life that you're living in the body that you're proud of. Because you can look a certain way or be a certain weight, but be miserable on the inside. And then you don't even appreciate the body that you have or the work that you put in, because your mindset's crap or your emotions are crap, or you've given up other things in your life that are super important to you. So I love that you were able to, like, you had the vision of your lifestyle and you knew that laying that foundation of your health would allow you to enjoy your lifestyle to a greater degree. Okay,
Yep.
so now what does the future hold for Chris? What now that you've built these awesome habits, like what you're focusing on, you made these changes, you've gotten consistent in all these areas of your life. What do you see for your future, and like what does that trajectory look like for you now?
Yeah. I think the trajectory is just going to be kind of more of the same, but I needed the initial push. I needed to get over kind of that initial learning curve. And that was really like the thing that I was like hoping to get out of this and paying for, is just like, look, there's certain things I'm not doing. I'm just not getting there. And I just need to get that. And now I feel like I've gotten over that hump, and I'm cooking more than I've ever cooked in my life. And I'm eating more healthy than I've kind of ever eaten. And I'm still not perfect. I have a burger, like I'll go eat out sometimes, but I look at them like, no, like 80% of my life is healthy. And I was like, that's how I've always said it. Like, if 80% of my life can be healthy, that's pretty good. Yeah. If I want to do a competition or something, sure, I'll make 100% of my life that way, but I'm not. I'm just living life. And so now that I got over the curve, the learning curve, I think it's just more just keep on that trajectory. And then I'm sure as I go forward and have different goals, I'll need little tweaks here and there, but it's not so much of that major hump. Like, I feel like I got over that major hump of just getting it done, like just actually getting it done. And so that's been the biggest help for me. And and then moving forward, it'll just be little adjustments, little course corrections along the way.
Cool. Awesome. So what advice, if you could see yourself, when did we start? 8 months ago?
Something like that. Yeah.
If you met someone kind of in that same spot that you were at, and they were struggling with kind of the same things you were, and they were hesitant for whatever reason to invest in a coach, what advice would you have for them?
Yeah. I mean, it'd be just kind of the same questions that I asked myself. You have to be honest with yourself. And that's really what it came down to me. For myself, I just had a conversation with myself, and I was just being very honest. And I was like, okay, Chris, like, you want these goals. Are you hitting your goals? And the answer was no, I'm not hitting these goals. And I've been shooting at these goals for a long time, and I've made little progresses here and there. And so, but I just, at the end of the day, I wasn't hitting my goals and wasn't getting where I wanted to be. And so I was just like, you know what? I just needed to get there. And this was an avenue. I'm sure there's a couple of different paths I could have taken to get there, but this one was probably the easiest. It was for sure the easiest. I paid a professional. They set it up for me. and I got out of it exactly what I wanted to get out of it, which was to get over that hump, and just get into better habits. And so my advice to anyone thinking about doing it is just look back at the last 2-3 years of your life, and have you hit the goals you want to hit? Like, are you actually going to get there? Because yeah, like I said, there's multiple paths to get there, but are you getting there on your current path? And for a lot of people, the answer is going to be no. And so if you pay a professional, they will, you still have to put in the work, but it's 10 times easier. 10 times easier.
Cool. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much, and just having the opportunity to work with you and seeing you overcome these obstacles, seeing your growth, seeing your gains on a physical level. So we talked about the transformation. What were like the biggest gains you saw in the program? So, we got
Yeah.
your habits down and your lifestyle, your nutrition. What are you like most proud of in your transformation?
Yeah, my body fat percentage has gone down and my shoulders got bigger. So I never focused on my shoulders and didn't realize how much of a visual difference it does in your physique. And I was like, they started kind of popping. I mean, they've been okay, but they started popping out more. And I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then just my body fat percentage was going down. I was like, oh yeah, this is great. This is the trajectory I wanted to be on. So yeah, it's been great.
Looking at your before and after photos, I love, like, you definitely grew in size, but your body fat dropped, which was incredible. So super, super proud of you and all your work, Chris. And
yeah, thanks for everything.
yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Great job.